Hi, First Presbyterian community. This is Marvin Lindsay with some reflections on Lauren Wright Pittman's drawing, The Cross Remains. You can find it on page 23 of your Lenten Devotional. She calls this a resurrection cross, and that's because the image really calls our attention to the resurrection and Easter as much as it does to Good Friday and the events of the cross. It's a picture of irises, which Pittman says in her meditation are symbols of strength and wisdom. And of course, irises bloom in the spring in the Northern Hemisphere when we celebrate Easter, so they can't help but be symbols of God's power to renew the creation and raise the dead. But she's arranged them in such a way as for a cross to appear in the middle of the arrangement. And as I look at it, I think of those pictures where you look at it one time and you see a vase, and you look away, and you look back at it, and you see the profiles of two people facing each other. So when you look at this image, I think sometimes you see a cross, and then at other times you see flowers. You see symbols of the resurrection. Now, I think that Pittman would prefer us to see resurrection first and the cross second. And that's because in her meditation on this image, she confesses to feeling some ambivalence about the cross as a symbol for the Christian faith. And she rightly points out that originally there was nothing beautiful about crosses. They were cruel, but by no means unusual means of execution that the Romans employed against their restless subjects. Crosses only began to be symbols of the Christian faith when Christianity became the imperial religion in the 4th century. And we have our own troubled history of the cross as an icon in the United States. Sometimes crosses have been set on fire and placed in people's front yards as instruments of racist intimidation and terrorism. Nevertheless, I think the old saying, misuse does not take away proper use, holds in this case. Whether the cross is a symbol of love or hate, whether it's a symbol of arrogant misuse of power or humble service, I think depends on whether the cross has had its way with us and whether or not we fully belong to the one who hung on the cross and was nailed there. If an image of the cross inspires us to feel sorrow for our sins, and if it inspires us to take up our own cross and follow Jesus Christ, if it inspires us to bear the burdens of others who are bearing crosses of their own, and if it inspires us to face death with hope and even with joy, knowing that the one who was crucified has been raised from the dead, then I think that the cross can be an image that is beautiful and one around which the Christian community can rally itself. May it be so with us this Lenten season. Grace and peace to you. Goodbye.